Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. In today's guitar lesson, you've joined me for the third instalment of my Guitar Solo Roadmap series. Now, this is a series that I'm running on my website, where I have 10 guitar solos that get progressively more difficult, and at time of recording, this is episode 3 out of 10. Now, the idea of this is if you were to come to me for guitar lessons, I wouldn't give you the solo to Bohemian Rhapsody as the first guitar solo. I'd start off with something a little bit more vanilla, and as the lessons trundle on, these would get more and more difficult, up to the point where we can do something like Shook Me All Night Long, Bohemian Rhapsody, or even something much faster than that. If you like the way that I teach, and also you want to grab the free tabs for this lesson and learn more about this series, it's all on my website. So you can get the tabs along with over 100 other free lessons that are on my website from the first link in the description. It's completely for free, don't want anything from you. However, if you do like the way that I teach and you do resonate with me, I'd urge you to check out the second link in the description for the Kirklees Guitar School Academy, which is my membership platform, and for this series and as well as the full song lessons that I do on YouTube, Academy members get access to additional resources such as a technical focus lesson that's song specific, a guided playthrough, so this solo you'll be able to see up close and personal with scrolling tabs and practice along with me, and you'll also get a backing track that you can download to help you practice this. You can get access to all that with a 14-day free trial from the second link in the description. Right. Waffling over. So the whole point of this episode is to focus on controlled and consistent bends. I find a lot of guitarists struggle with getting their bends in a good place, and they just kind of bend willy-nilly and not really sort of thinking with the end in mind. So that's what this lesson's all about. I'm using Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers as the example for this. Let's just hear what it sounds like in context, and then we'll break it down, okay? And it continues up to fret 17. And you'll hear it come back with. Great song. Great song. Even if you're not into the Red Hot Chili Peppers, John Frusciante is a fantastic guitar player. You can learn a lot from him, and he borrows a lot from Hendrix and kind of like bluesy sort of roots. It's well worth your time. Right, so what I'm hearing in this is lots of we're bending notes up, but not just stopping at the top of the bend. We're also, you're sort of letting the air out of the tyre. Look at that. You see how I bend it up and then bring it back down. So that's what this solo entails. Let's get into it then. So we're going to start middle finger on the 10th fret of the B string. We're in the key of A minor, by the way. We're then going to play the 9th fret of the high E string with the index finger. And then the ring finger, I'm going to play the 11th fret of the G. We've got this like little triad here. Now can you see here the line goes up, it says full, and then comes back down. Now what that means is it's called a full step bend, which means we're bending this 11th fret up so much so that it sounds like it's 2 frets higher, or what we'd call a full step higher than the note that we started on. And then we're gonna, while keeping the note pressed down, can you hear how I'm keeping the note pressed in, but I'm letting it gradually back down to where it started. This note, this 11's in brackets, which means that we don't have to pick it again. It's sustained from over here, but we have got a little bit of vibrato. So I'd urge you to give it a wobble. and it repeats here. Just be aware this second 11 comes in half a beat sooner than this one does. Just one minor detail that's worth mentioning. Yeah, I came in just a little bit sooner there. To round this phrase off, the last 3 quavers of the bar, we're going to just pluck that 11th fret with the ring finger. We're just going to pluck that 3 times. Now, I do, if you can hear my guitar buzzing, I do apologise. This offset guitars can be a little bit temperamental sometimes, and it's quite warm in here, and it's this guitar's not getting on with it. Moving on into the next slide, we're going to pull off between that 11th fret. We're going to pick it a 4th time and pull off to the 9th fret of the same string. And we're going to go up to that 11th fret of the D string. And again, give it a wobble, bit of vibrato. And then we're going to walk back up, 9, 11 on the D, 9. So you see how we've got, and then here we've got da da da, and then we're back to where we started. So we're kind of we're in this little pentatonic box here. But again, bend that string up, bring it down, nice and controlled. We don't want to underbend, but we don't overbend. Okay, moving on. We're then going to start going up the dusty end, right? So we're starting off on that 10th fret again. So we're walking up this. We've got A, C sharp, E, F sharp. Now, I would probably use my middle finger, index finger on that 9th fret, and then I'd use my ring finger on the 12 for this arpeggio. A major, A, C sharp, and E. I'm then going to come up. I'm going to do a position shift with my ring finger and play that 14th fret and apply some vibrato. Now you could use your pinky, but personally I don't feel like I'm as strong at adding vibrato with the pinky as I am with the ring finger, and I'd much rather. And as you'll learn later on, we are gradually kind of creeping up the neck anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant which finger you use for that 14th fret because you're going to surpass the 14th fret anyway, right? So we've got 10, 9, 12, 14. We then repeat the same thing, 10, 9, 12, but then as we come up to the 14, again, do a position shift with your ring finger, and we're going to bend it up. We'll bend it up a full step, and then rather than letting the air out of the tyre like we've done with the 11th fret so far, can you hear how there's a definite gap between those two? So this 14 in brackets here is just an extension of this note. You don't need to pick it again, so you bend it a full step, mute it at the top of the bend, bring it back down and pick it when it's back to pitch. Don't let it down this time. So all together. Nearly there, let's keep going. Ring finger all the way up to the 17th fret, and we're going to go 17, 16, 14, 17. E string to the B string. All last for one note each. We're then going to go 14th fret of the high E, 17, 14, 17, 14. It helps if you've got the melody in your head for this one. And it's all kind of it's all index finger and ring finger. Then we've got some unison bends, so I'm going to play the 14th fret of the B string with my index finger, and then I'm going to use either my ring finger for the 16th fret, or you could be forgiven for using your middle finger. I'm using a short scale guitar today and I've got shovels for hands, so that's actually quite uncomfortable using my ring finger there. And I've got 9-gauge strings on this guitar as well, so it's very, very, very easy to play. So I'm going to play the 14 and the 16 at the same time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend the 16th fret a full step. So I'm bending the top note in tune with the bottom one. I pick that 3 times. And then to round it off, back to the 17th fret of the B string with the ring finger. Index finger on the 14th fret. I'm then going to do a position shift, and I'm going to play the 14th fret with the ring finger, because I'm gradually starting to work my way back down the neck. So I bend the 14 like I've done before, and back to the 12. But again, I'm bending it up, and I'm letting the air out of it this time. You see how the line comes back down here in comparison to these over here? 12, 14, 12. I walk down 14 of the B. I'm going to do a position shift down to 12 as I gradually make my way back down. Tenth fret with the index finger, all on the high E string now. 12, 10, 9. And I'm going to finish on the 10th fret with my middle finger and give it lots of vibrato. So you see how I'm sort of gradually working my way back down. And if you need to use a finger somewhere that I haven't, you know, that's completely cool. It's the sound. The thing with using the correct fingers in the right places, I'm just conscious that I don't want you to develop some sort of repetitive strain issue by using the wrong finger in the wrong place. And if it feels good and it sounds good, and it's not sort of, you don't find that your wrist or anything's grumbling after a decent practice session, you're good to go with that. So just a reminder, head to the website. All the resources for this to help you get this across the line are there for you to use, and also it's all laid out in such a way that you can check out the previous lessons on in this series, and sort of after this goes live, the lessons after it as well. Make sure you head to the if you want some extra resources, head to the second link in the description for that as well. Now if you click over here, the previous video in this series, lesson 2 of 10, you can check that out. Or alternatively, if you like the way that I teach and you want to keep up with the progress of this series, click this button over here and it'll subscribe you to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week for another guitar lesson.